The Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup is proudly brought to you by Sunbet, Bridgestone, the tyre of choice, VAG Automotive Centre Centurion, EBC Brakes, GoZone Water, Seal Pro, Pump Elect CC, and Torcraft, tools for every job. Welcome to round 2 of the 2026 Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup, this time at Red Star Raceway out in Delmas, which once again forms part of the Extreme Festival. If round 1 in Cape Town was anything to go by, we were in for a treat here at round 2. Clinton Seller, the 2024 and 2025 Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup champion, still absent unfortunately after undergoing surgery due to some nerve damage. Round 2 sees the welcome return of some familiar faces in the Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup. That of Peter Dalport on the 110 machine, as well as the likes of Renatus van der Kerk, Jayo Cruz, the crafty veteran rider, Taran Piper, Stephen Golgotzi, as well as Nico Zitzman. Got to keep those sponsors happy, hey Henk? Henk having a tough build-up to round 2, having a few crashes, and him and the team at Siemens Motorcycles doing a superb job to get the 82 bike back up and running. Great to have the number 60 of the killer Trevor Westman out and about. He of course leads the Class A championship heading into round 2. Fresh Bridgestone R11 tyres, the tyre of choice of course in the Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup. Luckily they weren't wet weather tyres. The weather has been playing its role here this weekend for round 2. Even the qualifying for the final qualifying session before the 2 races on Saturday was wet, and a lot of riders opted out of that and chose to rather play it safe and sit in the pits. Nevertheless, time to fit those brand new Bridgestone R11 tyres to do some last minute work on the bikes, as Damion Purificati is explaining there. He had a multi-tool there. Ryan van der Kerk quite handy on a motorcycle. He's a brolly dolly as well as a mechanic. Some beautiful ladies around as always in the Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup, and some beautiful motorcycles as well. Some veteran riders, some master riders, and some grandmaster riders as well. That man there looking good this weekend. That is of course Hein McMahon on the number 4 bike. Got to fit those brand new EBC brake pads as well. Getting ready for the race here at Red Star Raceway, which also welcomes a new sponsor to the 2026 Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup, and that is Torcraft, tools for every job. Robert Ferreira on the 811 looking good, and we also welcome back this man, Stephen Golgotzi on the 91. Keith Agliotti looking to build after a fantastic round 1, and so was this man. Eyes on the prize for Damion Purificati. Ian Harwood also looking to make a mark here at round 2, as was this man, Henk Kruger, and we also welcome back the number 57 of Renatus van der Kerk. 2 of a kind, maybe 2 of a different kind for Trevor Westman, with 2 different gloves on there. A big thumbs up from Nico Zitzman on the 79 as well. Sunbet.co.za, of course, the main title sponsor for the Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup. Who are you betting on for race 1 of round 2 of the 2026 Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup? The riders make their way out of pit lane, getting ready for war. Damion Purificati looked like the man to beat coming into this round, and if the practice sessions and qualifying sessions were anything to go by, that statement would in fact be true. He was taking full advantage in the absence of Clinton Seller, as he took pole position on the Amalgam Welding and LF Racing ZX10R, the number 88 bike. Hein McMahon also looking very good. A full grid, as we said, of 19 riders here for round 2 of the 2026 Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup. Walking through the grid, Henk Kruger on the Siemens bike, and there is the crafty veteran rider, that is Reggie Seal, ahead of Adi van Dalen on the 469, the man behind one of our sponsors in the series, that is of course VAG Automotive Centre Centurion. So good to see some riders back like Jayo Cruz, the crafty veteran rider, as we take a look at the overall qualifying results. Damion Purificati on pole ahead of Han McMahon, Keith Agliotti, James Barson, Trevor Westman, Henk Kruger, Reggie Seal, Adi van Dalen, and great to have the number 110 of Peter Dalport back with us. Dirk Stolz continuing his great form there in 10th place, ahead of Byron Rothwell, Renatus van der Kerk, Jaya Cruz, Robert Ferreira, Taran Papa, Alfie Swanepoel, Stephen Golgotti, Ian Harwood, and Nico Zitzman rounding out the grid. Time for racing though, and the lights went on and they went off in a great start for pole. Damion Purificati, not so much, the number 4 in the middle of that front row. As you take a look at the drone shots for Han McMahon, a little bit of a wheelie and bog off the line, and that allowed the number 31 of Keith Agliotti on the TNB Global Retro Race Car bike to sneak past him. As we take a ride on board with Han McMahon, a helmet first person view pretty much, thanks to the Insta Go 3S camera, and then you can see a little bit of bog off the line that allowed Keith Agliotti to find his way through, heading into turn 1, and now he would look to keep the number 4 of Han McMahon behind him. Great shots from the drone here as always, and you can see the riders heading into the infield of Red Star Raceway. A tight and tricky track is Red Star Raceway, but Damion Purificati on the 88 bike already stretching his advantage over the rest of the field. Keith Agliotti, Han McMahon, James Barson, Henk Kruger, Adi van Dalen, Reggie Seal, Trevor Westman. A good start also from Byron Rothwell, Peter Dalport, ahead of Taran Papa, Renatus van der Kerk, Jaya Cruz, the number 3 there of Alfie Swanepoel, Robert Ferreira as well, looking good here. He goes well at this track, does Robert. He knows the track like the back of his hand, as most of these riders do. As a challenge for second place, that is Han McMahon heading into the hairpin, looking for a move on the number 31, the beautiful livery this year of the 31 bike. James Barson now closing in on the 2 riders ahead of him. That was the battle for the overall podium positions. Barson was looking good this year, a good start to the year for the veteran rider. He was looking for an overall Class C victory and an overall podium here at round 2 on his Pro-Proof waterproofing and painting steel monkey-backed ZX10R, as the riders made their way into the final sequence of corners, which heads and lead onto the back straight. All important to get that drive, as Han McMahon did, looking to get that slipstream and throw it on the inside of Keith Agliotti, heading into the final corners here at Red Star Raceway, but he thought better of it. Closing up to the rear wheel though of Keith Agliotti, James Barson a little bit distant now in that 4th place, a little bit of a lonely 4th place. He had now stretched the gap on Henk Kruger and Adi van Dalen behind him, and Dirk Stolz was also having a fantastic race so far. He was looking for a solid top 10 result here at Red Star Raceway, as was Byron Rothwell, also a man with fantastic pace around the Red Star Raceway circuit. A good start to the race for Ian Harwood on the TRP machine, the number 24 bike, but no one out front could hold a candle to the 88 bike of Damion Purificati. The battle for 5th place was heating up nicely. That was between Henk Kruger on the 82 and Adi van Dalen as well. Good to have Taran Papa back on the number 45 bike. Also, one of the men behind one of our sponsors, that is of course Pumpalex CC. So great to have Taran back after missing round 1 due to family commitments. Speaking about commitment, and Keith Agliotti and the number 4 of Han McMahon were leaving nothing out there. They were committing and giving it their all. As you can see, heading here through the dog bone section, pretty much known at Red Star Raceway. And this corner, the right hand corner, heading onto the main straight. These riders take it in 3rd gear, some in 2nd gear, depending on how you've got that bike geared, whether you're running a 5-speed gearbox or a 6-speed gearbox, flat out down the straight, generally braking way after the 150 meter mark if you are brave enough, and generally speeds over 250 kilometers an hour, and braking way past the 150 meter mark. There was the 469 of Adi van Dalen finding his way through on Henk Kruger. Behind that battle though, there was a nice battle brewing as well. This was for pretty much positioned just outside the top 10 positions, and it was actually for the final 10th spot, and that was currently held by Peter Dalport. Great to have him back on the Carling Learning Institution, Hatfield VW, Pretoria, Mastercars, MLS, Makalaz, ZX10R. A mouthful, I know. I hope I got that right there. But great to have Peter Dalport back on the 110 The Masters rider and that bike is really, really beautiful. Really, really does stand out. One of the prettiest bikes in the field for sure. And Damion Purificati not worried about looks. He's worried about winning. And that's in fact what he was doing. He had a massive lead now over this battle for second place between Keith Agliotti and Han McMahon. And they were leaving nothing out there. They were giving it their all. They were setting sub 2-minute lap times. They were in the 1 minute 58s, which is not hanging around. That is really, really hauling, as they say, around this track. And hauling was Adi van Dalen as well. Remember, still riding with a little bit of an injury that he picked up after that crash in Cape Town that brought out the red flag in Heat 2. But he was doing a fantastic job. Great to have him back, and great to have the 76 bike of Jaya Cruz back as well on the extreme bike, firm faith, Red Bull ZX10R. Great to have him back. Hopefully that Red Bull has given him wings, and hopefully he can get further out or up the grid as well in this race. I know in qualifying he had a visor with no pin lock on, and he was seeing mist. It wasn't that red mist, it was more white mist, and he really couldn't see anything. So hopefully he got those issues sorted out now for race 1. And Trevor Westman actually missed the start. We never picked that up right at the beginning, but he was caught napping, quite literally. He heard the bikes going out. He was still napping in his van, but not napping is the number 4 of Han McMahon. They move on the inside at the end of the back straight on Keith Agliotti for second. So that moved the number 4 up to second and demoted the 31 of Keith Agliotti back down to third place. As you take a ride on board with Han McMahon, as you can see, holding that inside line, getting that drive we spoke about earlier, that all-important drive, getting in the slipstream of Keith Agliotti. You can see that red blinking on the dash as his riders scream, absolutely rev their ZX10R machines to their limits, and a beautiful move on the inside of Keith Agliotti, and nothing that Keith could do about that. But as we go back to Trevor Westman, yeah, he was caught napping. He had to start from pit lane, and he's come from miles back, and he's working his way through the field. And this is pretty much Trevor Westman's first ever real-time racing around Red Star Raceway in this layout. So he was doing a fantastic job. He also had a few issues that Trevor in qualifying on Friday. So him and the team have done a fantastic job to get that bike back up and running. And he is carving his way through this field here in race 1 at Red Star Raceway for the 2026 Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup. Damion Purificati out front, making it look easy, and the number 4 had stretched a little bit of an advantage now on Keith Agliotti, so Keith would have his work cut out for him to catch back to the number 4 of Han McMahon, and he was now actually slipping into the clutches of James Barson. And the number 6 is still doing a fantastic job, although he had to work out the conundrum of Reggie Seal, also one of the fastest and most craftiest veteran riders out there. But as you can see, Trevor Westman letting go of the brakes, going into the hairpin, braking well past the 150-meter mark again. And Trevor Westman was now up into 7th position, and he was looking at pushing and getting to Henk Kruger and Adi van Dalen ahead of him. And that was, of course, for the battle for 5th place. Not too sure if he'd get much higher than that, but he would also be dragging Reggie Seal along for the ride. You can be rest assured Reggie Seal would not be giving that position up just quite yet on the number 166 bike. He was also having a fantastic start to his 2026 campaign. Just listen to these riders absolutely rev their ZX10R bikes to the absolute limit and absolute extreme to get the best possible lap time and the best performance out of them. And that's exactly what Damion Purificati was doing out front. He was the only rider lapping out in the 1 minute 56 brackets, and that was pretty much very, very close to the outright lap record here at Red Star Raceway in the Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup for this way around. Of course, Red Star Raceway does run in both directions. You've got clockwise, and then of course you've got anti-clockwise. Adi van Dalen would need a clock because he would really have to catch a move on and get with the times if he was to keep that 5th position ahead of Henk Kruger. Henk Kruger was ultimately trying his utmost to catch Eddie van Dalen and take that 5th position away. Narrowly missing out on a 1 minute 59 lap time, which was, of course, his goal. He was pretty much doing 2 minute dead lap times. And that, let me tell you, is not hanging around. That is moving around this Red Star Raceway track, especially on the ZX10R bikes, which pretty much remain standard. They've got pretty much standard air filters. You run pipes. You can run a few modifications, but ultimately the bikes are standard. There are different year models as well in this category, so that also plays a part, as well as does bravery around the outside. Speaking about bravery there, that is Henk Kruger trying to go around the outside, the long way around on the 469. The VAG Automotive Centre Centurion backman of Eddie van Dalen, definitely with the best looking style in the Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup family. He really does hang off that bike. Jorge Martin-esque, like in the MotoGP, elbow to elbow, really hangs off that bike, scrapes his elbows, gets in excess of 60-degree lean angles, as we saw in Cape Town as well. As the riders made their way into the final sequence of corners to start yet another lap, Damion Purificati had already crossed the line with a sizable lead. He was ahead of Hein McMahon, and the 31 of Keith Agliotti, and James Barson on the 67 was now closing down on Keith Agliotti. As further down the field, that's a 76 of Jair Cruz. He was having a great ride, looking for an overall podium in the Class C battle on his return. He was in 15th position, and he was trying to chase down this battle in front of him, and that included the number 45 bike of Tyron Piper and Robert Ferreira. So that was 13th, 14th, and then 15th place, the number 76 of Jair Cruz. You can see Tyron Piper going defensive into the final sequence of corners here. He's a little bit ring rusty, is Tyron Piper, a man that knows Red Star Raceway very, very well. But he has missed the first round. He hasn't done a lot of riding lately due to work and family commitments, but nonetheless, great to have the Compelec CC man back out with us here for round 2. And back to the battle for 5th position. Eddie van Dalen was still holding that all-important top 5. He was ahead of Henk Kruger as that battle resumed. But Trevor Westman on the number 60 bike had made his way and closed down the 2 riders ahead of him. And you can see there, Henk Kruger not done with Eddie van Dalen just yet. A move on the inside, going into the hairpin, braking super late and getting that move done. Eddie van Dalen, not a easy person to pass by all means. He brakes late. As you can see, he carries that corner speed as well, hangs off that motorbike, and Henk Kruger here on the Siemens bike, much more of that old sort of school riding style. You can see he sits more on the bike, and he literally just lets his wrist do the talking, gets on that throttle hard, and gets on those brakes super, super late. So a very tough man to pass, and he was looking very determined to get that top 5 in 5th position. Back out front with the leaders, and it was now the last lap, and it looked like Keith Agliotti had managed to reel in Hein McMahon, setting a PB lap time for race 1, closing down and getting through on Hein McMahon. He might have made a mistake actually, because he had quite a big gap, but Keith Agliotti on the 31 bike chasing him down, getting past him, and that was a battle for 2nd and 3rd, and the 4th place man there, James Barson, he was also now back in that battle. So 2nd place, who would it go to? Would it be Agliotti, McMahon, or Barson? As the riders made their way through onto the little back straight, Barson running a little bit wide there, losing a little bit of touch as we head to Peter Dalport on the number 110 machine. He was having a great outing in the final spot, top 10 in 10th position was Peter, but no one could hold a candle to the 88 of Damion Purificati. Heading into the final sequence of corners was the Amalgam Welding Shop and the Lift Racing ZX10R. He was the man to beat in round 1, tied with Jayson Lamb, who unfortunately couldn't make it down to round 2 of the championship. So this was playing all into the hands of the 88 of Damion Purificati. He was now looking at extending his championship lead and looking to take the crown in 2026. As you can see, that was the 79 bike. Of course, that is Nico Zitzman. He was not going to get lapped this time around. Damion Purificati heading into the final rut. left-hander, and then right again onto the gas. And it was a brilliant performance by Damion Purificati, who would take race 1 up on the pegs, and celebrating in style was Damion Purificati. Behind him, though, it wasn't done. The battle for second was still on. Late at the brakes, the number 31 of Keith Agliotti, braking as late as he dares, running slightly wide, but that would not matter. He had the line, he had the pace, and second place would go to Keith Agliotti, ahead of the number 4 of Hein McMahon and the 67 of James Barson, who would also take overall Class C honours. Henk Kruger, and that's Trevor Westman running slightly wide. Looked like he was maybe getting past or trying to get past on Adi van Dalen there, running wide, but it was Henk Kruger, a brilliant 5th place, Adi van Dalen in 6th, and a fine ride from pit lane from the number 60 of Trevor Westman, the killer from Cape Town, great 7th place. And that is it. What a ride, what a race. Race 1 done and dusted as the riders congratulate each other. What a ride between the number 4 and the number 31. They were swapping positions left, right and centre, and a hard-fought race. Luckily, it stayed dry. The sun was out. Number 110, Peter Dalport. The 37 of Byron Rothquell on the Magic Pull Warehouse machine. And the number 166, that is the crafty veteran rider, of course, Reggie Seal. But a huge shake of the fist, pump of the fist for number 88 of Damion Purificati. A nod of the head, a hard-fought second place there for Keith Agliotti, who still, that win is eluding him, but with the form he's on in 2026, I wouldn't count against him getting that win later on in the year. A fine return, a fine ride from the 45 of Tyrone Piper, Ian Harwood, a hard-fought ride as well, and the ever-improving Nico Zitzman, great to have him back. There we have it, Keith Agliotti hasn't even broken a sweat. And there we have Dirk Stolz as well, a fantastic ride from Dirk, a big thumbs up as well from Hein McMahon, and a great big smile from the 37, of course, Byron Rothquell. Jaya Cruz, great to have Jaya back with us. And there we have a Trevor Westman, just getting explained to, listen, you can't sleep, you need to set your alarm clock, you need to wake up. But a fine ride nonetheless from Trevor Westman and team. They did well, and they'll definitely be back for race 2. Renatus van der Kerk and team also. Great to have Renatus van der Kerk back with us on his beautiful ZX10R, the number 57 man. And there we have a Damion Purificati, sweating like a piece of cheese left on the windowsill in a hot summer's day, but he got the job done. James Barson, a fantastic ride. And there's Mrs. Purificati, Nicole Purificati. Hopefully we'll have her back on a ZX10R soon as well. As the riders made their way out of Park Ferme back into pit lane, there is the 91 of Stephen Golgotzi. Unfortunately, he had mechanical issues at the start of the race, so we weren't able to see what he was able to do in race 1. The 166 of Reggie Seal, a fantastic ride there from Reggie, as the rest of the riders, Adi van Dalen, Machis. Yes, there we go, full gas from Adi van Dalen on the 469 bike. And I'm not too sure who that is on the 76 bike of Jaya Cruz. That was not Jaya, that in fact looked like Raymond Keel. But Damion Purificati taking victory ahead of Keith Agliotti. So Class B honours to Damion, Class A honours to Keith, ahead of Hein McMahon in 3rd. Class C honours went to James Barson, Henk Kruger, Adi van Dalen, Trevor Westman, Reggie Seal in 8th, and Dirk Stolz in 9th position. Peter Dalport in 10th, ahead of Byron Rothquell, Renatus van der Kerk, Tyrone Piper in 13th, Robert Ferreira, Jaya Cruz, Ian Harwood, Nico Zitzman, and unfortunately a DNF for Alfie Swanepoel and Stephen Golgotzi.
So here we've got a brand new face in the sun. No, I'm kidding. So a regular face, but we haven't seen him for a while, and that is, of course, the 91 of Stephen Golgotzi. Stephen, working on a plain white bike there. We see your beautiful bike over there. This weekend hasn't gone to plan on your return. Maybe it's your bike getting back at you for not riding it enough. You're working on trying to get Hein's spare bike ready, up and running for race 2 after issues in race 1.
Yeah, Sean, thank you very much. Nice to be back. It's been 6 months off the bike since last year. Life has got busy and we just haven't had a chance to even get to practice to be on the bike. We picked up Thursday. It didn't go great. Yesterday went fantastic. We got down to a 2:04.7. Fortunately, this morning we went up for race 1 because we didn't have the time to test it in this morning with the rain. and the wet track, and went into limp mode. We cleared the cars and did what we could. Went on the road, tested it, kicked back into safety mode. So unfortunately, nothing we can do. But a massive thank you must go out to Slucky High McMahon. For me, he's sped back just so I can partake in the race and be with the guys. I mean, Shauna, this cup is just, I'm actually lost for words. I mean, the guys that are here, from Damion, Keith, Byron, Slucky, there's every single body. There's maybe like 9-10 guys that have helped me and chipped in on this bike to get this bike ready, to put throttle cables back in, just so that I can partake in the next race. Means a lot to me. It actually talks about how the club is. So, thank you very much to those guys out there. I wouldn't get on. And, let's see how race 2 goes. At least I can take part.
There we go. Best of luck.
Thanks, Shauna.
The Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup is proudly brought to you by Sunbet, Bridgestone, the tyre of choice, VAG Automotive Centre Centurion, EBC Brakes, GoZone Water, Seal Pro, Pump Elect CC, and Torcraft. Tools for every job.